Yeah. Yeah, I was somewhere just counting my digits. Yeah, somewhere that's low key minding my business. Yeah, ain't taking no trips, but y'all have been tripping. Cause you was drinking the Kool-Aid, caught in the mixer. Yeah, ooh la la la, ooh la na na. Yeah, ooh la la la, ooh la na na. Yeah, ooh la la la, ooh la na na. Yeah, he's a la la, he's a la la. Yeah. I was taking through just some fucking trash. Wanna get something done, gotta get the fuck up off your monkey ass. Pop it up, beat up, they put you jump on, make a man do a double dash. Bitch, you're tough enough, that's why you keep letting life just come and pass, yeah. Putting on a mask and got that glitter. I know with your bitch ass did last summer. Pull up on your block and not black hummer. I'm nothing like Zeus, but I pack thunder out of the rain and hurricanes and tornadoes, hail, sleet, and snow. I'm in a plane that's running lanes, flaming sword, angel here, keep your soul. Going through pain, I burn my wings, look for an angel, hell deep for show. Fuck what all you niggas heard today. I done dirty up the pearly gates. You ain't never bringing nothing to the table, why the fuck you think you earned the plate? I ain't dropping on a motherfucking roll, but bitch, you get curved today. I ain't never on the ground, bitch, nigga, pollen man, yeah, swerve in space. Yeah, I love me some food, tank, fly, bitty girl, can I serve you the cake? Yeah, I was somewhere just counting my digits. Yeah, somewhere that's low key minding my business. Yeah, ain't taking no trips, but y'all have been tripping. Cause you was drinking the Kool-Aid, caught in the mixer. Yeah, ooh la la la, ooh la na na. Yeah, ooh la la la, ooh la na na. Yeah, ooh la la la, ooh la na na. Yeah, he's a la la, he's a la la. Yeah. Flipping your girl on the mattress because she just wanted to come visit downtown city. Her ex wanted to come and just fuck the shit up on the down diggy. You just screaming, you yell like you going to hell on the down quickly. Yeah. Every time we get good at the game, they gonna just a bruise for you. You must be retarded, you can't put together 2 and 2. A wise man once told me from a distance you can't tell who is who. Well, goddamn, DoelowDaPilotman, if the dude that flew, fly by. Yeah, I was somewhere just counting my digits. Yeah, somewhere that's low key minding my business. Yeah, ain't taking no trips, but y'all have been tripping. Cause you was drinking the Kool-Aid, caught in the mixer. Yeah, ooh la la la, ooh la na na. Yeah, ooh la la la, ooh la na na. Yeah, ooh la la la, ooh la na na. Yeah, he's a la la, he's a la la. Yeah.
Let me get this out the way real quick. Go ahead and get this out of the way. I say, hold on, because I don't want to wait too late things and that nature, so we get this all formulated and constructed and foundated and, real quick. Moon and Sagittarius. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. Gotta collect my thoughts. Good break energy. Good break energy. You know what I'm saying? Good break energy. Sneaking on the beneficial channel, beneficial flight channel. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get this foundated real quick. Check this out. We got the Sun of Libra and we got the Moon in Sagittarius. And God told me to talk a little bit to 12 minutes. Oh, saying the same ride. You know what I'm saying? You don't come with no different formations and different thought forms and think the thing changed. Think the concept changed. No, it don't change. We still got to be the same. And I don't want to further than that. Ain't nothing too much of a rush. I'm saying nothing too much of a 12. It's going to be 12 minutes of talking to some good godly knowledge before astrology. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be some good knowledge talk and stuff like that. Spiritual. Everybody need to learn. Everybody need to listen to. The world ain't no Nike world. The world ain't really supposed to be a selfish world. Everybody think, everything's supposed to be about me. I say, somebody else's time of the day is supposed to be all about me. I said something like that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever y'all darky energy y'all might develop. Weird concepts y'all be developing in y'all brain. Y'all take it easy. Take it easy in the brain. Take it easy. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. Take it easy. Relax your mind and let your conscience be free. Don't give it to who Snoop said. Don't give it to Snoop Dogg at all. I saw Snoop Dogg at all. Who he said. Don't talk about it. Don't listen to him. If it's the sticky icky, though, you go ahead and put where Snoop Dogg said, put that at. Just don't put your hands in the conscience who Snoop gave his conscience to, and that the murder was the case video. I'm saying real stuff, and you'll be okay. You'll be in a circumstance where you'll be like, okay, I know what's going on. I know what I'm dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Not myself. You know, half of y'all got to look at yourselves and be like, I know what I'm dealing with now, myself. And you come straight live from the Zoolander, Jurassic Park land. Somebody left the cage open in the rainforest, and Toucan Sandbird on a box of tricks. You know what I'm saying? It came out of somebody's colostomy bag, and you here today. Social security number here today. I'm saying ID here today. Hospital records here today. You know what I'm saying? Birth certificates here today. You know what I'm saying? We ain't really discovered yet what exactly we're given a birth certificate. You know what I'm saying? We haven't quite discovered yet what exactly we given a social security. We be trying every day, though. We learning every day. So we got to create Palestinian wars and stuff. You know what I'm saying? We try to figure it out. We've been trying to figure it out for the past 4,000 years. You know what I'm saying? We're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out what y'all smack monkeys are. And smack monkey. Hey, monkey. You know, let's start whistling to a monkey like they listen to what dogs listen to. And then we like train dogs to listen to whistles. Dogs don't even care about whistles either. You know what I'm saying? So goddamn it, we all just think we in monkey land or something like that, and we could just go ahead and preach and talk and look stupid and think we know the land of the country. And we supposed to name all the animals and stuff like that. How you know a monkey god ain't tell them to name everything? So they start naming everything from their monkey list and stuff like that. How you know it ain't no ant and stuff like that? Start coming up with stuff. It was like, yeah, they told us to come up with the names of all these stuff. So you just can't be human and think that you can control all these things and stuff. You just a smack monkey. Real stuff. I said, oh, thank you so much for the donation, Peter. Oh, I appreciate that for the bottom of my heart. Real stuff. Real stuff. Yeah, we're going to get straight into it. I got 4 8. I got 4 minutes. You know what I'm saying? 4 minutes. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. On. You know what I'm saying? Oh, goddamn it. Slick Rick Puller. Goddamn it, on the middle of New York City street neck. Real stuff. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? All of these energies we're going to be in as far as, you know, we getting up out of Libra season. We probably got like 4 5 more days. Yeah, we got like 5 more days. Well, you know, technically 4. And, you know, we're going to be up out of this funk. You know what I'm saying? As far as the cuffing energy is. Well, we're going to be a cuffing season all fall. If you ain't cuffed nothing by winter, it ain't no point for you to cuff anything. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't meant. So that's how you got to kind of look at harvest season going into fall. And then that's Libra. How you conduct the relationship that you was building over the spring and summer. Scorpio, what depth is going to go through. And Sagittarius is you're going to realize or be awakened or be enlightened to, if that's the circumstance you need to solidify yourself with. And then by the time winter here and things of that nature, that'll be the individual you start to build or plan or circumstances with in order to get ready for the spring and take over the world in some way, shape, or form. I'm saying real stuff, but yeah, if you can't do that by wintertime, you're not ready. You probably still got a lot of insecurities yourself and stuff like that. That yeah, you got to wait another season. You know what I'm saying? So you got a whole lot of another shedding season. You got another shedding season. You got another and that you know that's the bad thing about spirituality and online too, because like it's sometimes like you might come across the wrong individuals online, and they make spirituality some type of mission, and the mission that they give you be like some Beavis and Butthead type stuff. Like they might tell you need to go learn how to meditate. They might tell you need to get a specific crystal and gem. You know, they might recommend a candle or something like that. And like it's just really like a whole bunch of Beavis and Butthead stuff. And it ain't got nothing to do with like actual spirituality, actual missions and stuff like that. The mission ain't to be Beavis and Butthead. The mission is to get up out of Beavis and Butthead. That's the mission. The mission is to get up out of Beavis and Butthead. Not I'm spiritual, so now it needs to be Beavis and Butthead. No, that's the other way around. You know what I'm saying? The mission is actually trying to escape Beavis and Buttheadness. Those are examples of not being spiritual. Those are examples of not awakening. Those are examples of not changing. Those are examples of not outgrowing something. You're still dealing with it. So, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we could be dealing with a whole bunch of stuff during the fall season, and by the time it go into winter time, you might not have solidified yourself or shed everything from spring and summer and infinitely fall. So for the most part, once winter get here, things of that nature, it'll just be a cold time alone. And if you try to produce any type of relationships during that time, it's out of necessity. So how relationships start, that's how they end. So you don't want to start a relationship like that. Because, as soon as the weather get warm or something like that, or as soon as you start to figure out this ain't the right circumstance, like both parties or more was involved based upon necessity, not necessarily want. Because you ain't really supposed to need nobody. You're supposed to just, if you want someone. When it gets to all that needing stuff and things of that nature, it becomes a codependent, trauma bonding relationship. So you ain't supposed to really need for nothing. You're supposed to just want. But if you're in a situation you wanting and you got a lot of needs you haven't met yet, and you got to take care of that yourself first. And once you take care of all your necessity needs for yourself, then you won't be searching for an external representation of a necessity or a need. You know what I'm saying? Because you already have everything you need, and now you're ready to proceed. As we proceed, uptown, let's make it happen. You know what I'm saying? In some way, shape, or form. And that's how that goes. And then you put yourself in a situation where you're not in need, and now you can want. You know what I'm saying? And you're really not supposed to want or need, because those both polarizations, but that's the way you're going to go about it to re-avert yourself back to what you deserve, because it's like a mechanism. So you're really not supposed to do neither of them, but since you fell in these polarizations, you have to go through them to get back to the equilibrium. So that's the natural order, to go through them and things of that nature or shape or form or way of conducting something. That's the way of going about it. Because you could get placed into a situation where you ain't going about something the right way and manifest the negative results while appearing to seem like you're doing the same thing that you ain't doing nothing wrong in. So you gotta be careful of that too. Okay, we like 12 minutes in now. So look, we're gonna break down Sun of Libra, Moon of Sagittarius, and this is kind of like communicating or being in a relationship where our morality, our spiritual system, or our advice, the advice we're willing to give to another individual, or some type of circumstance that we're receiving it and we're trying to put it to the test to develop an experience or an event to see if it worked or not, that we can kind of raise or expand our mind into new ways of seeing things, or expressing our creative gifts in a mutable way, mutable fire, being mutable and being able to adapt to our own or other people's ways of seeing and feeling about things. So this puts us in a situation where we might be overly expressive or communicative when it comes to our standpoint on something, even if you're not religious. Sagittarius is an expressive energy when it comes into what they believe and stuff like that, where Jupiter, other energy, is Pisces. They might keep that retracted until the environment feel comfortable enough to release it, or they're around like-minded individuals or someone they could trauma bond with to release that energy. Sagittarius sometimes need to learn how to retract it because they give it off too much. And Pisces sometimes need to learn how to give it off more other than retracting it so much when it comes to the Jupiterian energy. And this is us producing events so we can expand in to learn something. Whether the event is negative or positive, it's us willing to be the fool or wise one to still experience what's for us to develop more wisdom and knowledge to know what to do and what not to do next time. So I like to call Jupiter like extracting a meaning and reasoning and replacing it with a purpose, or it's taking a meaning and reasoning and replacing it with some type of, I forgot how I used to say that though, but for the most part it's like a puzzle piece, and the purpose is like the whole picture or whatever like that, and you got to switch the little pieces around and stuff like that. That's aka going through an experience in a 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. And then once you get the picture clear, aka actually experience something, you actually can put the pieces in the right place. If you're scared to experience, you're not going to expand, so you're not going to have the full frame or the full picture to know where all the pieces are supposed to go. So you might be stuck on one piece, stuck on one part of your life, one event that you can't gain the wisdom out of because how traumatic it was or how against your nature it was on some degree. So you got to be careful of that too. You got to be careful. But for the most part, we are going to be trying to communicate or express to a certain degree our spirituality, our standpoint or something, or trying to relate to other people's creativity or the way that they express their feelings or the way that they see things. And we may try to put our input, our wise input in, or foolish input, or we may put ourselves in a position where we want to receive some type of input, whether it's negative or positive. So it play out like small fractions of Leo energy. And sometimes the accumulation of small fractions can all come together and become more bigger than actually Leo energy, where sometimes Sagittarius can become more attention seeking or wanting attention more than Leos at times, and just the way that they go about it may be a little different. They might think that whatever that they are expressing is a more wise way of doing something, but whatever that they doing sometimes is like Leo, some attention seeking type stuff too. You know what I'm saying? So they think they're gonna get attention by a wise way of expressing something, or their wise advice of something, or how they're doing it. And if they have to do something like everyone else, they'll start to look at it like a cage, and then they'll start to escape that concept of how they feel that peer pressure of having to do it like everybody else, whatever that might be. It could be anything. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what it is. Somewhere they might blame it on God still. Blame it on Jesus Christ or something. That's one thing about a goddamn Sagittarius. They just, demonic as Scorpios, they just blame it on God faster than Scorpios. A Scorpio already know they're a demon. They just keep their mouth closed. They just go ahead and keep their mouth closed until you figure out what's going on. Then they grin. Sagittarius, they ain't keeping their mouth closed. They got something to do with God. So Scorpio, they'll cheat on you and sit there and wait till you figure out and then do a grin. Sagittarius will cheat on you, don't even know how to cheat, get caught, and then blame it on God. I was blaming on Jesus Christ. Well, Jesus told me, and this person had something for me, or something like that, and I was going through a phase or something like that, and Jesus told me, I ain't got nothing to do with that. You just horny. Lord Jesus Christ, y'all some Sagittarius. I'm saying, especially the men, really the men. The females know how to timber it down a little bit. They know how to do it sneaky, but the men more. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the females already know not to do that, not to blame it on God. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the females would be like, well, let me just, I read this book yesterday. You know what I'm saying? It might go to that. At least it'll go to that. And then they'll work on their godly energy again, though. Like, at least the female's a little bit more spiritual than the men Sagittarius. At least they know better not to blame it on God. They'll blame it on some goddamn Galileo book or something like that first. Or some goddamn trauma or some goddamn shit that happened at the the playground when they was a kid or something like that. It might be something like that. Like something like that before they get to the God part. The dude to go straight to the Quran book. Yeah, the dude Sagittarius sun sign to go straight to the goddamn Quran book real quick. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. Look, the Quran book don't work if you got your knife around somebody's neck. How the Quran gonna work now? You in jail with about to get somebody $150 talking about in Jesus' name. Nah, you can't use the Quran now. You can't use the Quran. What's wrong with you? Goddamn Sagittarius. Thank you so much for the donation. Say Uno A2. I appreciate that for the bottom art, real stuff. And y'all be support everything you got going on too. We got a channel too. Yeah, they'll blame anything. Goddamn it, they'll be in that goddamn it in the middle of the war. They probably half of the goddamn Palestinian men probably Sagittarius and stuff like that. They over there blaming it on God right now. Allah, Yamahama, all everything right now. I guarantee about 87% of them over there they Sagittarius. And you can't tell me. And the part of the last 20 is Pisces. Ain't no way the military over there, Yamahama, goddamn it, is ran by anybody else. It's a team. It's a team full of Sagittarius and Pisces. That's it. The only people going to war, they just dumb. That might be the Tauruses and the Geminis and stuff and the Leos that's actually doing stupid stuff. The ones that's coming up with the way they about to go out and blow stuff up with, gotta be a goddamn Sagittarius and Pisces. Ain't no way. Every time I go on the news, sound like somebody blaming God about something. It don't be no other excuse. So goddamn, you can't lie to me. You ain't gonna lie to me. He was not gonna lie to me. You know what I'm saying? What other excuses? It ain't got nothing to do with gas. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing. As soon as they come out their mouth, oh, the Israeli God. Oh, God, you a Sag. Oh, you a Pisces. Get your hands off that military access weapon. Lord Jesus. Get away from that candle. Get away from that candle right now. Where's the straitjacket? Get away from that tarot card right now. Gonna blow us all up. God damn, get them. Get them right now. Get them. Gonna blow us all up and stuff in this mud. Goddamn it, we'll get away them goddamn crystals and gems and Bibles away from them goddamn 99% Pisces and Sagittarius over there running the Palestine war right now. Lord Jesus Christ, please get the Bible out their hand and give them a straitjacket. Lord Jesus Christ. Ain't no excuse for blowing up babies. Ain't no excuse for that. Ain't no humanistic excuse for that. You can't blame God for everything. I'm sorry. Y'all gotta put that book down at someday and grow up and learn how to come to the round table like adults. One day. One of these days. I know it's been like a good 2,000 years, but come on, one of these years. One of them. Last time I checked, I went to school a little bit. Every time I went to history class, they taught a good long about 2,000 years worth of wars and stuff. At some point, it's like, dang, the whole 2,000 years. Nah, we gotta wait till one of these years. Not one of these years out of a whole 2,000. I swear, every time I went to school, we learned a new story. And the story in all the years, every time I went to school history class, every time you learn a new history lesson, it all add up. The whole 2,000 years at this point. It's like, dang. Y'all ain't come up with no better way of at the round table at the UN office yet? Damn. You would think they got tired of doing the same thing over and over again. Like your thug's daughter. Motherfucking tired. You would have thought they had been tired after 2,000 years. After the descendants came and be like, yeah, our grandparents was flunked out. You would have think, like, eventually, Lord Jesus Christ. I know some people, I had to say that, because, some people get so spooked out, give humans more power than they actually got. When we start saying they actually think it's the same group of humans from 2,000 years ago, still the same group of humans right now. No, it's they descendants, just like your grandparents' kids, the descendants. Stupid. Why you think these Teenage Mutant Ninja Snapping Turtle movies and these new Matrix movies suck so much? Because the people who running the world is your age. Duh. These Masons your age, fresh out of college. They always have the little ceremony. So that's when we get to like the Jeffrey Epstein ages and stuff like that. But the ones who controlling like the Walt Disney and stuff, believe that's Jeffrey Epstein kids and his kids. These are people our age. You know what I'm saying? These movies suck. Now you know why it suck. Now you know why they copying us and stuff. There was never a time people who was running the world wasn't the same age as you, and then became the age of your parents and stuff. It was never a time. Who you think, how old you think you is when you go in to get a job and you go in to build that New York City building and you don't know who face that is on that statue, but you just don't care because you got a good job and you got insurance and you got some bread loaves and a quart of water to put on the goddamn apartment table. So that's the only thing in your mind. You can care less about what you risking your life and probably get your back problem hit on the job. You done fell on the job and stuff like that. Now you got to get unemployed. But for the most part, you don't care about that because what they already provided. But they care about that. Here's the thing. They laid on their stomach. They came up with the archetype, how to build it, and put the energy in that inanimate object for you to think is important. They went somewhere and laid on their stomach and then went up and down the elevator in that building for free after it was done. That's how they do it. Same way back with the pyramids. They made us start carving it out and stuff like that. Always remember, they just use us to build it. They use us for everything. Even with why am I talking about this on this channel? What I'm talking about. Look, check this out. And then look, so Sun in Libra and Moon in Sagittarius, right? So we're gonna be reacting and responding to like our spirituality, our morality, our meanings and reasons to things. Now I'm a Sag Moon, so ain't nobody can tell you better about at least Sag Moon energy than anybody else. And the Sag actions through the sun sign can play out like this, or a person's personality, it might not be like that with their actions or reactions, sun and moon, if you got to know them, if it's not Sagittarius, but they may personally come across like this, and then they may personally have developed traits throughout their experiences in their personal life beyond Sagittarius's, just events that develop some of their personal traits that sometimes you might have to tell them that you might see that more than they see that in themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's how like the ascendant play out. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of y'all who watch me may see my Leo a lot of times before my Aries and Sag, but since I'm so consistent, y'all could kind of know me more than an average stranger. So y'all could kind of build up my personal traits and know how I really act and stuff. Now y'all starting to see my wants, actions, sun sign Aries, and my needs, reactions, moon sign Sagittarius. And now that's allowing you to have a better judgment before you probably was familiar with me when it was only Leo there from your perception. See what I'm saying? By me being a Leo ascendant. So take that, what I just broke down, for yourself. Whether you have any kind of ascendant or whatever the case may be. It ain't really you, but you can develop those personal traits. But how you still do those personal traits is filtered through your moon being your sun. So you can use me as an example. Leo still has to be expressed through. So when you start to see my actions and my reactions, it gets filtered through my moon. Then it has to agree with it, Sagittarius. Then it'd be like, okay, I'm comfortable to let this show. Then my mechanism, how I let it show, I allow it to do with my father, my son. And my son shows my moon and how it looks, the ascendant. So the sun shows how I feel, and how it looks when I'm doing it is my ascendant. But how I'm doing it is my sun sign. You see what I'm saying? So that's how you're supposed to look at it. Your sun is like how you're doing something. Your moon is what you're doing, and your ascendant is what it looked like. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times you may not know how you appear if you're not into astrology. You may not know how you appear to be. You may not know what you're looking like when you're doing something that you feel like doing and how you do it. So if you got squared up energy or opposite energies with your sun, moon, and ascendant, you need to really be into astrology, because this will put you up on game a little bit. You see what I'm saying? So the sun is how you do it. The moon is what you doing, because you have to feel comfortable first. So your moon is everything that you attract in your life. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's people that's your same sign or not. If they got those traits, that's what make you feel comfortable in that around them people, places, or things. And if a person don't got your moon traits or into the same things that your moon world is in, then these are people that'll make you feel like you need to take fight in flight mode or uncomfortability around them and things of that nature. So a lot of times when y'all around people, it don't matter who they is, family, friends, associates, co-workers, geographical locations, at a job, at an area, plan with things that's like objects that you can utilize, like whether you're a mathematician, so you need to use a calculator or whatever the case may be, right? If it's not involved with the energy of your moon sign, this is why you're uncomfortable with that person, place, or thing. If it is involved with your moon sign, this what makes you comfortable, and that's it. That's the mechanism for that. So it ain't nothing spooky, especially when it comes to y'all females. This, y'all always into y'all feelings, so y'all always constantly thinking that, okay, I need to feel this way, and why am I feeling uncomfortable and stuff like that. Then you might add a reason to something based upon your limited understanding of just your experiences, and not being privy to all people's experiences. You may prejudge and you may judge wrong based upon the construction of feeling of your stimuli that you're reacting to the circumstance. But if you understand that the only reason you feel uncomfortable, because the experience that you're experiencing via person, place, or thing just don't have anything to do with your moon sign. And if you went to astrology, you would know that. And this is why you can even come across and become friends with enemies once y'all had that discussion. Or people that you are around, sometimes they frustrate you, but sometimes you're around them and it is comfortable. When you compare and contrast, and sometimes if you need help, keep a journal. When you compare and contrast the situations, describe the situations, and I guarantee everyone that made you feel comfortable, all the way to even if you made an enemy a friend, I guarantee the conversation that was had has something to do with your moon sign. Now, here's the thing. Everybody moon signs ain't the same. So it has to resonate in the sky too. You might not never be able to agree or get comfortable with someone unless there's a certain alignment in the sky that both of y'all can sextile it, or not both sextile it, but both of y'all can have some type of alignment where that's the center thing, that's agreeable energy. So that day or that week, that'll be where both y'all separate energies still can agree. And then once that transit leave, it'll go back to normal. You're not just connecting with that person like you like that. Like you usually don't connect with them and stuff like that. Just treat them as far as you throw them. You know what I'm saying? But it's purely based on your moon sign. Always remember that. You know what I'm saying? So in order for you to agree with someone that always got a different moon sign, y'all would have to be into the same thing. Now, if y'all get close, it might play out as weird competition every now and then, where one person think they know about that thing better than another. But it's really not that. It's really y'all just seeing it from different perspectives. One person, elemental filter and glasses system, is seeing that same thing y'all both interested in from a different element position. And the other person is seeing it from a different. So it'll play out like y'all trying to prove each other wrong. And sometimes this could be good, friendly relationships. It might not be negative, just like good, friendly debate. Sometimes that little tension is needed for good relationships on all fronts and stuff. Because learning in life is the first thing to do. That's why your most important houses is the square houses. So we're here to learn. So anytime you're around a person, place, or thing that develop a spark of learning, negative or positive, these are things that hold on in your memory, in your membrane, longer than other things that you don't have, that don't spark you to have an extreme reaction, or spark you to feel like you have to do shadow work, or spark you to have to force it to change in some way, person, place, or thing. These are things you will end up developing to take for granted too if they're in a positive aspect in your life. But anytime there's a form of tension or something like that, whether negative or positive, these are things you're going to be attracted to, because you always feel like you have to restruct yourself or prove something in some way, shape, or form. And anytime you're in that aspect, that's a concept of learning without the bias in it or the polarizations. And once you know that, you know what you're dealing with without getting too lost into the bias, to the point that it's no longer a learning situation. It's something you're trying to derive from a desire, and then that desire going to have to teach you whatever it manifests for you in your life, to show you that you can't have whatever you developed in your mind to become your own God. So you got to keep that in mind too. Now, so when it comes, we got the Sun conjuncting Mercury. So with Sun conjuncting Mercury, our actions and our thoughts is going to be in the same area. So we might like make a lot of ideas and make it seem like our actions, it's the right decision to make those actions and stuff like that. So for the most part, you might put yourself into a situation where you prejudge and be wrong, but you might be thinking you right, and you might take some actions, and you might not realize it's a negative result and things of that nature, into the moon going to Capricorn. So you have to be careful of that also. Now, Sun conjuncting Neptune. So with the Sun conjuncting Neptune and Pisces, in conjuncting the Sun in conjuncting Neptune and Pisces. So this is putting us in a situation where, pardon me, we might misunderstand how to communicate or express or have some type of fairness or balance when it comes to our dreams, our imaginations, our fantasies, and what we have faith and belief in. You know what I'm saying? So we might keep these things to ourselves based upon feeling that insecurity or something like that. And you don't necessarily need to be that way, but if you planted a whole bunch of bad seeds, there's probably reasons why you feel that way. So you probably need to clear that up and do some shadow work so you don't keep putting yourself in that situation. Then also we have Sun squaring Pluto and Capricorn. So with the Sun squaring, we need to learn in some way, shape, or form. We need to learn how to communicate or have some type of fairness or balance and express those type of actions when it comes into participating in the area that deal with our status, what we're known for, how we're seen, cardinal Earth, initiating and creating new ways of how to think and be practical. And transforming that in some way, transforming that and taking more power and control in that area. We need to learn how to communicate about the things we need to transform and take more power and control over when it comes to our status, what we're known for, how we're seen, what ultimately can become our career or popularity level. Now, if it's, and it can be your business, the lower octave of business is this gossip and people being in your business that ain't productive, or you being in people's business that ain't productive. The higher octave of it, which everything is in reverse, but at the same time, will be some productive business, something that you could gain some material or maternal off of to a certain degree. So that's going to be the energy that you need to transform and take power and control over, but you might need to learn how to take action towards that. And taking action towards it might need some form of fairness, balance, assistance, another individual, or some type of circumstance that could be reciprocated when it comes to forms of communicating or bouncing off ideas, that it can have that little comfort zone in between. Also, got Sun squaring Pluto. Oh, I already said that. Sun opposed North Node and Sun square. Sun opposed North Node and Chiron and Aries. So our actions, it's like we're going to be running away from our spiritual growth because we feel like we need to do a little bit more of something or whatever the low-hanging fruit individuals would be thinking of. Because you have to understand this will be who you is if you're sitting back looking around thinking that you still need to do something in a spiritual space that you have outgrown already. And whatever that you're looking at, these are the small things that you're holding on to. They're not even necessarily holding you back. But you can't be afraid of change in some way, shape, or form and getting comfortable with uncomfortability. That's the North Node energy. And if you want to stay in the South Node, it's because you're in some form of comfort zone that you think if you switch something up, that things will be bad. And going into a new situation, you won't be able to look back either. And that new situation may not be solidified or whatever like that. So everybody trying to find weird ways to put themselves in a situation to look at their circumstance that they have outgrown, like it ain't broke, so it ain't no need to try to fix something or change something because the way it is. But every time you develop in the energy of procrastination, feeling left behind, not participating, not knowing how to jump in,
These are energies of examples of planting bad seeds and you needing to transform something. And that brain state that you're in currently is the reason why you may be manifesting, or not manifesting, or materializing, or at least gaining traction in what you're trying to do. So you got to keep that in mind too. Now we got Mercury square and Pluto. And wait, Mercury in conjunct. Um, oh, I ain't break down Chiron. Also, we made a lot of mistakes when it comes to our passions, our motivations, our desires. We made a lot of mistakes in that area and stuff like that, and trying to do things by ourselves and doing the lower octave of Aries, which manifested mistakes. Now, I ain't gonna say a lot of us because I ain't do it, but at the same time, a lot of individuals in the world have. So right now, it's time to kind of look at the mistakes that you have made when it comes to your passions, motivations, your desires, and stuff like that, and your individuality, your sexual energies and stuff like that. And it's time for you to look at those things and see the mistakes, do the little shadow work or the case may be, and start to take action in that area. Don't run away from that area based upon distracting yourself with whoever you're communicating with that's really not allowing you to want to change in some way, shape, or form. And this person is probably holding you back from your true energies. And this form of oh shit, the fuck happened? Undo. All right, and then all these motherfucking energies and stuff like that. What? Ooh, I didn't mean to say mother trucking. Energies that the sun could put you in that run from the opposite direction of Chiron and Aries might have something to do with a relationship that you still in, that you may have outgrown, some form of communication, some form of why you still feel like this is a way of feeling balanced. This is the way of that's fair. If you leave this end of the stick, you're manifesting energies of not being fair or something like that. It may have something to do that you probably need to leave, because when you leave, these people, places, and things could start to do things that they've been supposed to do without you there. And you probably taking your own, you probably making jobs up in your mind and making up concepts that you could think for other people and think that your place in the world is you creating that circumstance there, and this might keep you docile in whatever circumstance that you in. So you have to be careful of that too, because we have make up duties and obligations in our mind that when we really look at things, there really don't be no one there to do that for you. So when you're trying to find your purpose but don't have one of the first things the common human will use their brain to find a purpose is actually through the lens of someone else. And then for the most part, it could be a parent, it could be like a sibling or something like that. And it becomes you living for what they expect out of you and things of that nature. And then for the most part, they could develop some expectations that really don't have anything to do with you, but based upon you doing these things because it's part of your characteristics, it would allow these people in the back of their mind to feel like since you're always there, they don't necessarily need to do that. And you may feel weird anytime you start to slide away from that participation from grandma or whatever like that. And when you get into that mind state, you create justifications why you don't need to slide away anymore, why you're needed. So everything that you do on your table have someone else in mind. You know what I'm saying? But when you don't never sit back and think that when you see these individuals like your grandmother or your mother and stuff like that, they don't really have you in mind when they make their decisions. So you created a purpose out of something that was purposeless. And a lot of times these things can hold you back and stuff. So yeah, we have to be careful of that too. And we blame these things on love or care and say, well, I care or I love. But if you was to look at what you care, what you love, the care and love ain't in those environments. Those you chose to put care and love in those environments. This person or individual ain't gonna love or care for you any less if you was to stop doing these things you placed care and love in. If you was to stop doing these things, the person, these people or whatever like that's slowing you down, they won't stop loving you less. They won't stop. They'll care about you just as much as they did before. They'll love you just as much as they did before. But when you start to create a purpose that is a no man's land, no woman's land, and things of that nature, sometimes we misplace energies in the wrong area, which ultimately hold us back. For an example, you might you might stay with your grandmother or your auntie or something like that. And the way you sweep up the kitchen or something like that is like magnificent. But so in your mind, even when you ain't around your auntie, you thinking, yeah, I can't leave because there won't be nobody there to sweep the kitchen or something like that or whatever. Like then you come up with all these scenarios. If you was to leave, your auntie wouldn't know what to do with themselves with the kitchen and stuff like that. So then when you meet an opportunity and Quincy Jones is in your inbox or something like that, you start second questioning it and you start thinking Quincy Jones or goddamn it, trying to take you away from your purpose in life. And you created a purpose around sweeping up the kitchen because of how much you get validated by your drunk auntie. And then your auntie developed something in her pineal gland that, okay, since you there to mop the kitchen, she don't have to. And then since y'all got that kind of relationship, y'all got jokes y'all built upon that amongst the years and everything to the point now it's a normal thing. Y'all saying like y'all might even have certain jokes at movie night when your aunt was like, I was at work, my elbow was hurting. I'm glad you here, goddamn it, because you mopped the kitchen so good and stuff like that, like little stuff like that. That when at those times you ain't even thinking about doing nothing else. You built so much rapport in those energies, your mind is constructed now. So there's areas where you don't even see that you may have outgrown, but due to the fact of all those other constructions, it allows you to feel like you don't need to go nowhere or something like that. And then you even added care and love in that area because you might think, damn, if I go ahead and go to college now, or if I go ahead and go, if you're a female, go move with my boyfriend because he got a mission, or if you're a man, go out and change the world and see if I can get some reciprocation or something like that. In the back of your mind, you're going to be like, damn, my auntie ain't going to love me no more, though. She ain't going to care about me like that no more because she think that I'm leaving her for dead just to go ahead and mop the kitchen for herself, knowing that we had a lot of stuff about our elbow and stuff. No, but here's the thing, right? That you made up that. And then you might be like, all right, I ain't even about to go to college, or I ain't even about to go visit Quincy Jones, or I ain't even about to go get my other half, or I ain't even about to go change the mission, or change the world for a mission or nothing like that, because I'm going to stay here a little bit longer because I know my auntie. And then you'll make up things that you think your auntie is going through worse than her, and y'all might piggyback off of that. And then you need to understand that it ain't got nothing to do with that. If you was to leave and your auntie was to sit there and have to figure out that she had to sweep the floor on her own, she'd develop real good energies of how to do it, and it'd be a comfort zone, and it won't be something that you expected to do anymore. Anyway, see what I'm saying? And then she won't love you or care for you none less. Even if y'all do have that little tit for tat after a while. Where she like, where you been? You ain't mopped my floor that good. Something like that. But that's small talk. She'd be a narc if she even make you feel seriously weird. But other than that, you would make that up. Because then if you was to sit back and think about the things in your life. It ain't nothing that you got somebody in your life to be like, okay, this person is considerate of me. So this person is so considerate, they know how I think, so they know that how I can express myself to be lazy, and then they consider it enough to do what I think that they're gonna do anyway. You ain't got nobody in your life to do that for you, but yet you created that circumstance where you need to know these are excuses and procrastinations and false purposes when you don't have a purpose, and then you start living for the expectation of someone else and stuff like that. So these are weird energies too that some humans could get in, so y'all got to be careful of that too. Where just like you have to figure out things when you by yourself and stuff like that, that you don't even think twice to put somebody else in your mind because you know it's only you. The same way you need to put other people in your life in that position too when it comes to things that's blocking you from your goals and stuff like that. There's certain things, people you got in your life, they can take care of that on their own. And you made up a weird purpose about why you need to hang around and do that for them. They don't need you for that. Same way, you don't need them for what you got going on that you didn't even put them in that position. I'm saying, and that's what men experience, especially when they better males, and on an extreme level, that's what females experience, but first through their family. First, and then they let their auntie or their mother hold their whole life back, not knowing that they auntie or grandmother or mother be secretly stopping them from doing what they couldn't do. Because you might be better in shape or something like that at an age when they was that age, they were scared to do a lot of stuff. So, you know, once a person get a lot of resentment and regret, a person might get old and intelligent like your parents, but it's just a more intelligent way to express their trauma bonding. So you could be trauma bonded and held back, but told in a way like it's good advice, and a person is just caring about you and loving you at the moment and trying to give you the good advice of a right decision. Or really the right decision is purely something they came up with that saved them from exposing a vulnerability because they were scared to do something. And whatever they came up with, since they're not spiritual as you, they don't know that that good advice idea was something that they just used at a time when they was going through a phase and experience that they thought was the right decision to come up with, that will prevent them from going through an experience that leads to vulnerability about something. And you might got different experiences in your life, which is why you don't even want to work at the same jobs as your grandparents and stuff like that. So some of these same conclusions that they came up with to keep them secure, to feel satisfied in their jobs that you don't even want to work in anyway, the advice that helps them maintain that into the things they want to do, they give that to you like it's supposed to work for the things you want to do. That's totally opposite from the things that they're doing. You see what I'm saying? And this is where we fall short at. And why we end up being in, I ain't gonna say we, but why individuals in the world end up being in worse situations than their parents. Because you allow your parents to put you in a docile situation without spiritual wisdom. And you not knowing any better that you need to have your own experience, period. And this could go a few Saturn returns, because you could develop so many traits from your parents, you carry them out 40, 50 years after you're 20 of your life, and it take you to be 60, 70 years old to realize you really never experienced anything, aka you really never lived your own life. You lived your whole life for others, all the way to the point that like the trauma go deep. You might develop your own life and a whole bunch of children and stuff like that, but you live your life strictly for them too. So you never had your own life. Especially if you become a feminist or something like that, or a red pill. Trust me, you about to be the first person that probably make the most money. You gonna be really damaged if you don't, because you're gonna be alone and broke. But if you the person, most of the time, a person only busy with doing things in the regular world, if they ain't doing things like reciprocation. So a feminist or a red pill, you could bet your bottom dollar that all they siblings' kids is their kids. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. They become living for others. They whole check, they whole way of feeling important in the world is doing things for their close ones and stuff like that, and creating ceremonies like that, which is that's not a bad thing, but for the individual deep down, it's a trauma they dealing with though. It's a deep trauma that they still going to hell with. But at the same time, the distractions can help others. It's just everything based on intent. The reason is just to fulfill an insecurity. That's what makes it negative. You're not supposed to be using love with conditions. So the way you even love yourself is how much you did something for your sister or your brother's kids. Or it ain't nothing wrong with that, but see, all energy ain't good energy. Sometimes you will get some nieces and nephews and stuff that don't even like you, no matter how much good stuff you did to them. And you'll be trying to figure out like, damn, I spend all my money on my nephews and these, they don't even like me like that and stuff like that because of your energy. It's almost like all money ain't good money. It's energy. All energy ain't good energy. And just accepting the things from a person like you manifests negative things in a person's life. You know what I'm saying? Like I see it all the time. I'm from the hood. I like to make things simple. I seen people who parents had good jobs, like they worked at General Motors or something like that, right? So the whole hood know how they got that car or whatever like that. And then next door, homie or homegirl got dope dealer parents and shit like that, having parties every night. So we all know how they got that car, right? So the parents with the good job come to school with the car safe and sound. The person with the drug dealer parents, sometimes they get a car but might get confused in the hood where the people that they parents beefing with might shoot up the car that was really the kids and stuff like that, the driving to school and stuff. You see what I'm saying? So even though both situations, it ain't what we do, it's how we do it. It looks similar. Parents gave their children a car, but the intent is what's more important. And all energy ain't good energy. So the kid with the drug dealer parents, it would have been smarter for that kid if they was wise and intelligent to be like, nah, I'm going to go out here and get my own car that people don't know who's driving this car because I know what y'all background come with. Other than the parents who ain't dealing with that and bought their child a car. Y'all get what I'm saying now? All see, I'm putting it in a situation where it's still a loving situation. We know all parents love the child, but it don't matter. The intent is what's going to manifest, and the intent of the drug dealer parents is by default may manifest a negative situation for the child that they bought a car for way faster than the parents that got a good job and bought the car for the kid, just based off the intent. We know how the kid with the drug dealer parents, the intent was drug business, how they got the car. So there's a lot of other things that come with it other than the loving action that happened. That kid could possibly be in a car where someone that their parents beefing with could get mistaken and think it's their parent car, other than the other situation. You see what I'm saying? So all energy ain't good energy just because it's a kind gesture being presented. Do you understand what I'm saying? So take that scenario and blend that in with every area of all y'all lives, and you'll automatically know what I'm saying. So you don't have to argue with grandma anymore, or you don't have to feel bad when you got to go live your life and you can no longer do the things that you built after a comfort zone between y'all and she built with you. And it won't be no animosity or a bridge burning situation because you're not doing nothing. You always got to be doing something because the spirit is naked, so always have to fulfill. It's that half cup, half full. So you always got to have a vibration before your words and actions. Without the vibration, you actually into something. Your actions always going to play out in a way, even if you're creating a false ego. A person will read straight through it, like a glass, see it like a wet paper bag. And what do I mean by that? When you're actually separating and doing something, if you're not actually doing anything in that time, whatever you lie about to make up because you haven't built up enough energy to actually do it, you're just in that time. What's that divine feminine excuse? Oh, I'm building up to actually do it. So you be lying about you gonna do something, but you're really creating wiggle room so you could build up the energy to actually do it. Then when it comes to that time for you to actually do it, it'd be a day you can't even really actually do it. Y'all females go through that type of stuff a lot. Men go through that too. But at the same time, it'd be like an energy. Ooh, hold on. I had another point. Hold on. Then when it comes to that time for you to actually do it. Hold on, I had another point. To make up because you haven't. Yeah. So anytime you're going to do something, you gotta be fulfilling something in that energy. Oh shit, I forgot to turn it down. So if you separate from something and you're not doing nothing in that time, God gonna manifest destructions for you. If you separate from anything, but you're actually doing things in that time, you could be in a situation. Let's say if you're a musician, right? All right, let's make this an example. Let's say you leave your grandma because you want to be a musician, and then you leave her and you're not sweeping up your auntie's kitchen no more, right? Let's put that same scenario at play. If when you separated and you're not really doing music though, you wiggling around trying to wait and talk until you actually do it to build yourself up. When you do go back to your auntie and stuff like that, it will be a negative situation, or you will manifest other negative situations around you. And even when you're telling the truth about something, a person will still look at you like you're untrustworthy. If you separate from something and you're actually doing something, let's say you wanted to make music and you're actually doing music, let's say that there's a time you wasn't able to pick up the phone, you wasn't able to sweep the kitchen and stuff like that. That person will be able to develop in their own mind an idea that you're busy and give you grace without no extreme animosity. Even if there's a time you're not doing music, if you put enough consistency energy in there when you are separated, you got the vibration behind you. So you got the energy of a person really doing something, whether that person know it or not. So they'll pick up that presence. So whenever you tell a person, it'll be felt more and received more in the truthful energy, even if it's something you're lying about. If you put enough consistency energy in that area, you'll have grace. If you're separating from something, but you're not even actually doing anything when you separate it, and you're not even actually doing that thing what caused you to separate, anytime you say that's what you doing, or you act like that's what you are, God is going to create a circumstance of showing you ain't that, and bringing people, places, and things around you to see that right through you, for you to feel bad about yourself and isolate and have to separate from the world or something like that. Because the energy actually matters. Because that's how you built up the energy for anything to manifest in reality, for even a stranger to not know you, but pick up an energy like, I feel a certain way about you. This is how y'all even know about me. Everything I've been doing in my real life is playing out in all kind of other ways, wherever I direct it. But that's the only way you got an accumulation of energy that can produce into attention or anything. See what I'm saying? Regardless of anything you're doing. You could be fixing rims or whatever. So you have to have some type of life experiences and accomplish a life experience, like a morality, not something in the regular world, but a morality where it was a mental construct where how we all interact with each other that you accomplished and others around you know you accomplished it. It's a mental thing. It ain't even really, it's deep. And then it manifests solid anyway. It play out in a solid world like when you got more knowledge, you got more access and more ways of know-hows to do anything, even when it comes to money. So it's like weird. It ain't weird though, but you know what I'm saying? Is you might get confused, just like the allegory of when y'all claim y'all manifesting, but y'all really be thinking y'all really be trying to say y'all trying to materialize. You know what I'm saying? Manifesting is obtaining the ability. So you gotta get that from meditating. And meditating is not daydreaming and pondering over thoughts. It's getting rid of any thought and feeling that come your way because you're trying to shed like you're taking a bath. Then once you get in that naked space for a minute, and it's easier said than done, but it's that shedding. The more you try, the better you get at it. But God is like you to try. You're adding small increments of seconds of clairvoyance, nothingness, and you're making an energy out of nothing. So you created something out of nothing. So it play out like clear without the rainbow colors, or it all coming together to create your own darkness. So when you play out that clear energy, like the black and gray, no cable television screen, or like water or air or cloud, like clear energy, right? The pure before they start to accumulate energy, the most lightest gas. That's that something that looked like nothing before it turns into color. And you made that like a light color, so it's clear. So it play out like clairvoyance once you start to participate. So now once you're done meditating, then you start imagining and pondering. And then you direct it towards whatever you imagining and pondering about. Hopefully it's your creative gifts and talents, not how to hate on someone else or just distractions and why you don't have something. Now that clairvoyance, you're gonna be able to jump back into reality through all the polar shifts, all the rainbows, and all of them together in darkness. And any scenario that you start to deal with, you add that energy of clairvoyance to it, so you're able to see clearly through all the colors. I can see clearly now that the rain is gone. I can see clearly now that the rain is gone. You know what I'm saying? Boom. And then once you do that, you're able to extract better ideas and able to observe more full scenario of the circumstance, other than someone who may be seeing it through the lens of a bias, a magic square, a distraction. So they only seeing it from that position, so they can't see all the ins and outs. So you're more intelligent in the circumstance than them. You have the more know-how than them. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, when you're directing it towards your gifts and your talents, you're able to develop new abilities. So you're able to come up with not better, but more songs and stuff like that. So you end up never having writer's block, like Uriel. I don't even know how to have writer's block. Like, what is that? What is that, a J.R. Ryder mixtape? I don't even know how to have writer's block. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. The whole song will be about that. Thank you so much for the donation. Shout out to Moody Mercury, baby. He got a channel too. Y'all support his music and everything. Real stuff. But wow, I start thinking like we the best rappers alive now. Spiritual people. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like my best bars is a gun bar. I feel like my best bar is a moral bar. And then how I could flip it to have something to do with my world. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in a different plane, but I'm talking about different existences. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about a plane, but not the one you be lifted in. So just make your decisions quick. You know what I'm saying? And I be flipping, man. And I ain't talking about having two guns like Yosemite Sam. But I'm a shooting star. Oh, you see what I'm saying? Like, because I'm a rapping star. You know what I'm saying? So you think I'm shooting for the stars. No, I'm a shooting star. I am that star that's shooting through the sky. You see what I'm saying? It's like all the bars mean something different. It's something different. I don't like having the best bars, a gun bar, a rim bar. How long I've been in the studio bar. A J. Cole, I got my heart broke bar. Like, it's phony. Like, that's phony to me. Like, God told me to make morality bars. So I make morality bars about different realms of reality that made this world. So even when I say them bars, it sounds like I'm saying everything in this world too. It just got 60 different entendres to it and 60 different other synonyms and making senses of it. You know what I'm saying? And that's how God works. I don't even know how to listen. God taught me how to make music. You know what I'm saying? And the soul group. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? We got, so these opposite energies is going to make us run away from our passions anyway as an individual. Now, it's going to blend in, but we may have a misunderstanding how to blend it in. But the direction we're going to be going is in the same area. Soon as the sun going to Scorpio. You know what I'm saying? Because the depositor is going to be Mars, even though Mars, and then Mars is in Scorpio. So, you know, it's going to add benefits to the Aries energy if you the higher octave version of your sign, regardless of what sign you is. Because you're going to be able to create positive misunderstandings where something you may have misunderstood will still allow you to have enough energy to do something, even if you didn't know you was misunderstood or prejudging. And the circumstance will play out as the outcome of you being understood and you being happy that you went through that situation to gain that knowledge or to gain that understanding in some way, shape, or form. And that's how you do it on the positive way, because both of these energies is going to be about forcing us to focus on passion, motivation, desire, Mars-like things, right? But by them being in conjunctions, it play out like the more positive one than the other one, right? But at the same, than the where Mars at Scorpio, it play out better than the other in conjunction, which is the Gemini, right? But at the same time, it still play out as an in conjunction, a misunderstanding. If it was the Gemini Scorpio in conjunction, it would lead into negative misunderstandings where you may have talked too much that you didn't heard something and went through a transformative situation, somebody popping you in your mouth or something like that, or you ended up being in jail. Now, when it's the in conjunction between Scorpio and Aries, then for the most part, this one play out as a misunderstanding based on it being passions, not passions and thinking too much about it and talking too passionate and aggressive with Mercury and Mars, like Scorpio and Gemini in conjunction. Now it's double Mars in conjunction, so this one makes it easy a little bit. So this the positive in conjunction. The other in conjunctions play out the same way, but this, let's speak about this one. And in this context, it's going to play out as the center focus is passion, what we have misunderstanding about. So the events themselves may be a collection of agreeable energy. You around other people that's into the same thing at the moment that you're passionate into, but the misunderstanding may be how to go about it. But when y'all actually do something anyway, if you wouldn't have did it, you wouldn't have got no understanding. You wouldn't have realized the gas was on E if you didn't actually go take that trip like Big Sean or whatever like that, things of that nature. But if you didn't do it, you wouldn't have met Kanye either. So it's like that type of situation where it's still a misunderstanding, but it can lead into a positive scenario because the misunderstanding share the same depositor, Mars. So it's going to give us the courage to do some Mars stuff anyway. But we may misunderstand how to do the Mars stuff. That might be slight frustrations. Oh, damn, we run out of the gas. Oh, we ain't got no brakes. Big Sean and his boy. But at the same time, that faith and belief allow him to get to that radio station and meet Kanye that day and change his life. And it just so happened that he had Aries and Kanye had Gemini. All puns intended. Goddamn it, glad we broke that down. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Now, let's say, ooh, that felt good. Shoot, I must have been stiff like Adam Fester. We also got Mercury in conjunct Neptune and Mercury squaring Pluto. So with Mercury, we might misunderstand how to communicate with our dreams, imagination, or develop the right ideas about it. And Mercury in conjunct Mercury squaring Pluto, we need to learn how to transform and take more power and control over our thoughts and who are we communicating with and sharing our energies with and trying to create some form of balance in our life. We have to learn how to do that a lot more sufficient in a more bossy manner and in one that make more sense in some way other than keep creating situations where we're getting the short end of the stick of our siblingships or relationships or however the case may be. Now, also when it comes into we got Venus sextile and Mars. So we're going to be creating a lot of opportunities where we're going to be able to love, appreciate, and value or relate to our passions, motivations, and our desires in some type of way, in a reality or realistic type of way. And we might be all about the money about it, or stability, security, or planning, or all about our health, about it and stuff like that. You might be passionately, you might find opportunities to be passionately invested into your health, or some type of routine or pattern, or some type of consistency, or some type of job. And these going to play out as opportunities. But at the same time, everybody don't take opportunities. So it's a sextile, and all opportunities ain't good opportunities. So you have to be careful of that too. You could be in some type of weird energy where your alignments ain't matching, and then you might not be seeing the right opportunity. Something that get built on consistency when it comes into our passions and our motivations. You might be into something based upon your distraction, jump into that realm of reality and start planting bad seeds. Because instead of you adding consistency to a passion, you're doing something for whatever your personal reasons is, and then that's when God gonna create some type of weird situation where the universe create blockages between you and what you're trying to manifest due to the fact of you having the wrong intent. Also, Venus trining Jupiter. So with Venus trining Jupiter in Taurus, we're also going to have this gift to be able to expand the things that we love, appreciate, value, and that we relate to. If it got something to do with work, health, routine, patterns, and some type of discipline, construction, perfecting something, crafting, keeping assisting something, or working on something in general. If it's not those energies, and a lot of people may get lazy and stuff like that, because and Venus is debilitated, is fallen in Virgo. So you may have to learn how to appreciate some things you don't like anyway, as far as like some type of consistency, some type of routine, some type of pattern. But just adding that energy in, you're going to start to see the accumulation play out in your life, even in other areas. That ain't even got nothing to do with that. That play out as materializing and manifesting just because you're participating with the mental gas and liquid of that you're pushing out with your spirit. Consistent. And whatever that thought or feeling in, you're doing it in a solid world. You're doing that witchcraft with a ritual and spell. That idea, that song, you're doing it with your body, and whatever, anything that you're doing. If you're doing that consistent fart cloud, gas and liquid, and you, as a witchcraft, and you're doing that ritual and spell with your body, something physically that's playing out that consistent energy in the physical world, then just giving that offering to the sun and the energies that we in right now will trickle down into all these other areas that sometimes people call mysterious because they're not understanding this mechanism. So it'll be other situations that play out in your life where a person come, a place or a thing, a place or a thing or an idea will come to make another situation better, and then you'll be like, damn, that was mysterious or whatever like that. And it really wasn't. It's just the mechanism I'm teaching you right now. You know what I'm saying? Also, Venus opposed Saturn in Pisces. But yeah, don't jump into these things too, like, because I'll be breaking astrology down in alchemy way a lot of times, and I know a lot of people sometimes who jump into these type of things got selfish minds. So it's important, if you're not comprehended up, don't jump into these type of things yet. Just look at astrology like, okay, this is my alignment, and just look into the sky like, okay, this is what we're going through right now. Don't be watching my video. Like, if you got a small mind or weak mind or something like that, or you're trying to do something like that ain't got nothing to do with nothing, like you ain't trying to get no ability to change something in the world to make it easier for yourself and others. You're trying to do something to get something for yourself because you got an insecurity or something like that. You're not gonna understand how to actually do it. You're gonna be trying to do something through a filtering system and just be proving yourself wrong and stuff like that. So you got to be purely unbiased when it comes to using astrology like a alchemist, because you might not always, you're not supposed to jump into it with expectations, but if you do have expectations, it's because the results you produced, like you took the ability, manifestation, and materialized it, practiced that witchcraft with a ritual spell with your body, and you did so much consistency that the proof in the pudding, the expectation is respectable. And if you not receiving the expectation from that, then you can say something, because whatever that you say is not in no negative narcissistic end. It's actually whatever words God get ready to give you to speed up the process in some way, shape, or form. Because you putting in so much work, and that's what God's showing you, that's what needs to be taken as a route, so you can have some awareness on all this energy. And for some reason you'll realize God put you through that, because you need that anger as a flaming sword, as a form of protection when you get in a position to receive something just like everybody else but you put way more work in. See what I'm saying? You can't just be putting a whole bunch of work in and you think you're going to be in the same position as others who ain't putting as much work, but because you gullible or you humble. You're supposed to be modest, not humble. A person who ain't putting as much work take your position like it ain't nothing because you humble or something like that. You can't even fight dog eat dog world. God can't use people like that as a vessel. You know what I'm saying? Any old demon can come take your position. You'll be somewhere crying like, what make this person so good? Nothing. You just weak. You know what I'm saying? And this person ain't strong. This person ain't good. You just weak. And you thought everything was supposed to be you give it away. No. You'll let some bum take it. That's in your corporation or something like that. So you got to be careful when it comes to those energies too. You got to be strong as a spirit. Also, and that's the only way God can look at you as responsible enough to have, you'll never be less, but that all possibility form, you ain't that big. So you a small form. So when you receive a bigger form that you could play out in your small form, so it'll look like it's something greater than you playing through you or something in mysterious ways, you're lesser than that form, but you're being in it. So it's like you're blessed. It's like we're putting a witcher roll together of being, be, and less. So you're being less inside of a form that's greater than you, that you went and picked up, that no one else picked up because they didn't know how to go to that nothing land. You know what I'm saying? And actually make something out of it. They went to nothing land and got lost there because ain't nothing that's actually something in their life ain't going right. And they made something more than what it actually was. And this is not a person that can actually comprehend anything. So keep that in mind too. Now we got Venus Venus opposing Saturn and Pisces, early Pisces. So we may be trying to use our love, or you might be on another situation in your life where you're trying to use your stability or your status to run away from love. Then we have other people trying to use their love to run away from their status. Now, love doesn't necessarily deal with a relationship. You can love a person, place, or thing that you're compromising with that lead into overindulging, and you need to learn how to do it in moderation. So this could be anything, a drug or a circumstance or a person, a feeling, procrastination, pleasures and stuff like that. For the most part, a person could get lost in these things to run away from reality, and their dreams won't even manifest in reality, or they'll be lost in what they made out of a reality, which is Pisces, la la land type energy, and then get a pleasure in it, which ultimately will be Venus, and then they'll be stressed out and stuff anytime they can't be lost in their own world that ain't got nothing to do with reality. So we have to be careful of that too, that's going on. But for the most part, then on the vice versa end, a person could be lost in their reality, that's la la land, that separate them from love or reciprocation or the things that they probably need to relax in. And these people will be trying to make themselves busy, make themselves distracted in some way, shape, or form. And that could be energy that people get into right now too. Distracting themselves from doing the things that they actually need to do that participate with Venus type energies. You know what I'm saying? Then we have Venus, Moon. We got the Moon squaring Venus. So with the Moon squaring Venus, we might need to learn how to react and respond to love, appreciation, value, relatability, or compromise in a much more sufficient manner without so much worrying. We might need to add a little bit more faith and belief and spirituality and morality, and that's going to help us not worry and ease our Mercury in, with it being in Virgo mind. Venus, Venusian, with it being in Virgo's mind in some way, shape, or form. That's how we kind of calming down a little bit. Trying to learn something, get into a little bit of spirituality, throw on an Archangel Uriel video or something like that. And then for the most part, those type of energies itself will kind of help calm down Venus and Virgo. So we'll come up with more spiritual relaxations or advice or ideas, aka Moon and Sagittarius, to express and then that'll make us not have to think so logically or overanalyze too much about our love matters and stuff like that. We have a little bit more faith and belief in the heart space to open up our heart chakra to feel emotionally comfortable doing more Sagittarius type stuff when we cater to that energy to learn how to do it in a better way. Now here's the thing. Now we have to learn, so you got to actually do it. But you might create a whole bunch of scenarios where you think it don't make sense if it ain't helping your pocketbook or your wallet or something like that, due to the fact of overanalyzing, because Venus is in Virgo. So you might be like, oh, why I gotta have faith and belief? Why I just gotta go with the flow? Why I gotta have a meaning or reason? And this ain't got nothing to do with consistency or money or 2 cents or anything. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be careful of that too when you're participating in, at least love matters, at least. You know what I'm saying? Now, also, we got Moon square Neptune and Moon in conjunct Jupiter. So with the Moon in conjunct in Jupiter, we may have a misunderstanding when it comes into our experiences that deal with stability, security, support, safety, and shelter, materializing and manifesting. Fixed Earth, being fixated on our own way of thinking and being practical. So this is what we experience and develop as events and trying to learn and gain meanings and reasonings and spirituality around Taurus type things. But with the Moon, we're reacting, responding to its depositor and stuff like that. Sagittarius energy. So its depositor is rooted into Taurus type things. So we might think that spirituality may have something to do with physical things right now. All the way down to we seeing these wars and they're making spirituality a physical thing, blowing things up and stuff like that. So at the same time, this putting us in a weird situation in our own internal life, experiencing these transits where we're kind of low-key considering that spiritual systems or something like that is piggybacking on how much a person have or don't have. And we just got out of that energy from when the North Nodes was in certain circumstances. So don't go jumping back in this energy. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, that's what it is. That's what it is right now. So we in a situation where you might feel bad about yourself if your money ain't right or your material or something like that. Especially if you're online and you seeing other people in a better position than you in the material world, but they're spiritual or something like that. You might start to chalk that up to other things going on in your life or what's not wrong with you or something like that. Don't do that. And I'm telling you, hearing it from the horse's mouth, it don't have anything to do with that. And the longer you stay in that mind state, you might even manifest a scenario for you where it's actualized, and it's hard, and it is hard for you in that area. But I'm telling you, it's because of the energy first, the gas and liquid. Get out of that space as a spirit and leave that gas and liquid in that space. Go to a different city and block in Babylon. Start paying attention to them lights, them buildings. Go inside them buildings and buy things in those buildings. Paying attention. You're paying what? Your attention. What is your attention? Your energy. Where your attention go, your energy go. So what is that? A collection of thoughts and feelings. That's your mind. So that's your spaceship. Drive to another city, and that's your esoteric currency. That's all. That's everything you can make out of as a world. And they made a world there. So it's also your esoteric currency. Get out of your spaceship, your phone, and then go into some of these stores that pay more attention to things that's catered to your purpose, that's going into areas you would like to live in there, aka in a 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, stuff that's catered more into your path, your direction, stuff you like to do. You see what I'm saying? If you think I'm pseudo, no, this is not pseudo. This is really what's going on in the spirit. So for the most part, that's how you got to do that. And break down kind of all kind of energies and stuff like that. Hold on, let me move along because we moving along real quick. A lot of stuff to do. Also, we got Moon trining Chiron. So we got this ability. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. I'm missing something. Moon's in conjunct Jupiter. No, Moon square Neptune. Yeah, so we need to learn how to react and respond to our dreams, imagination, and our fantasies and stuff like that in a lot more sufficient manner right now. Based upon both of these having the same ruler, then for the most part, this is what we're going to be paying attention to. We're going to be paying attention to our dreams, imaginations, our spiritual beliefs more than ever right now. Especially what we see online and stuff with the war and stuff. That's all they got us paying attention. Even if you're not paying attention to your own and you're lost in the world and you're of the world, they're using this energy for the witchcraft of how they got the world running. So you could be atheist or you could be a person that's in the world and of the world. They still gonna have you paying attention to some spiritual stuff that you got to make sense out of in some way, shape, or form. So you can't escape it right now because it's in the sky. This is what they using, and you probably fail to use it for yourself at the moment. And this will make you probably gonna plant bad seeds. But we need to react and respond. And we need to learn how to react and respond more to our dreams, imagination, and our fantasies, more than doing it, being in the world and of the world. So that's just gonna make you make a decision that you might need to join one of these militaries or something like that. But at the same time, when you get into your own aspect, you're learning how to express or your own dreams and beliefs in your faith, and it might take off during this particular time if you do it deep enough. And then for the most part, we got also Moon trining Chiron in the North Node. So we got this gift of feeling like we can make emotional mistakes anytime we go for our individual passions, motivations, and desires. And you just feel like that. That don't mean it's necessarily to be, because this is a trine, but all trines ain't good trines. Because what's more important is what actual two planets or signs is what two planets is trining. And in this case, we got the Moon and Chiron. So this is not necessarily a good gift, a good trine, a good positive alignment, because of the two planets involved. Normally the trine would be good, but when you got Chiron here, it's still a gift, but everything has a yin and yang. It may be a negative gift. You know what I'm saying? Like, depending on oppositions. It could be a positive opposition where two different energies come together as fairness and not a head-on collision match. And I already broke down the squares earlier. You know what I'm saying? But in this case right here, this could be a negative trine where we got this gift to come up with all these thoughts and feelings about how we will make a mistake doing this passion that we want to do, and sitting back trying to figure out another way to go about it, which ultimately, as soon as we come with that idea, that's just procrastination. Whatever we came up with in our mind, that we already jumped into the spaceship down that street where spirits procrastinate at and look at the fireworks all day. And don't even be 4th of July up there. But on that street, it's 4th of July every day in Babylon. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful of that too. And then, what's today? I'm dropping a mixtape day after tomorrow. Then I got to hit the road. Well, first I got to make a decision, because I don't even know if I got to do that yet too. Because then I got to be in Cleveland too, again. So I got to see what's going down, because I'm trying to set up a little thing too. I'm trying to have like a little Flight City in the basement type stuff, like a little real type of setup, so I can run everything in that, like the news networking. So if it do get real big and stuff like that, that'd be the headquarters. So anyone that I do, if I was to get people offline and stuff like that, you would have to travel to that place or travel here. And like, if I'm building like something like a job, if I'm building like, and then like a news reporter network or things of that nature. But right now I'm dealing with a whole bunch of serious people right now, so I can get that done for myself first, and then I can start thinking like that and stuff. But first I gotta get myself straight. Then we got but Moon opposing Moon trining Chiron. We might think we making an emotional mistake when it comes to going for our passions, and whatever idea we might come up with, we might think we right. And you got to be careful. You might be a little bit right if you planted a whole bunch of bad seeds. If you've been planting good seeds, you're supposed to already be aware of this and be like, all right, I know the possibilities, so let me just adjust this and keep doing what I'm gonna do anyway, and just be aware of that. So I know when those events get met, I know how to deal with it in the most sufficient manner possible, to the point that it don't even seem like I went through that. So that's how that'll play out too. Then we got Mars opposing Jupiter. So with Mars opposing Jupiter in Taurus, our passions, motivations, and our desires and stuff like that, we might be trying to like figure out manipulating ways to do that don't have to do with a lot of experiences. So we might be trying to find like easy shortcut ways of trying to get our experiences done and stuff. So we got to be careful of that too, because that's kind of like lazy brain, and you might be thinking you're coming up with the best route to do something, and that's not it. You know what I'm saying? That's not it. You're not coming out with the best route to do something. That is actually you trying to find an easy way to do something, and that's how this alignment going to play out. So we have to be careful of that too, that you don't end up coming up with manipulating ideas that in your mind deep down you think you're making the right decision. You know what I'm saying? So that's Mars opposing Jupiter. You thinking you're making a wise decision that's actually foolish, because it's the passions is in the opposite direction of what it means to be wise. So it's looking at wise from the opposite position and being like, okay, I could do this wise my way. But it ain't wise because it ain't Jupiter, it's Mars. So it's really about to do some Mars stuff, thinking that it could do it better than what it's looking at in its opposite position, Jupiter. So you're about to do some decision that takes you away from the actual concept of how you supposed. So you got to be careful. We got to blend this in right now. Find out how to take what you're learning that's different from your passions and see how they mix together, and allow that experience to help your passions, other than figuring out how your passions could get done in a wise way that ain't got nothing to do with you using the Jupiter energy itself. It's just you using passion, and passion is influenced by Jupiter right now, and you gonna think that you're doing something right that's ultimately wrong. Then for the most part, Mars trining Saturn and Pisces, we got the early Pisces, we got this gift of being able to passionately go for our reality, our status in our la la land, getting out of our straitjacket energy. Also, make sure when you get out of your straitjacket energy, it's something that's worth getting out of the straitjacket, not something that everybody look at you and feel like you probably need to go back in it. You know what I'm saying? So make sure it's deep, because you'll be able to manifest a lot of money right now. Anytime Mars and Saturn is having a good alignment, it play out like Mars being in the 10th house. Mars is exalted in the 10th house, and the 10th house is ruled by Saturn and things of that nature, and slightly the 11th house sometimes, but mainly the 10th house because of the exaltation of Mars. So it might get fragments of it in the 11th house, Aquarius house, but really the Capricorn house. So it play out like that right now, where we could kind of, if we go for our passions enough, if it's respectable, we could get known for it, and it can become our status, and it can become something that become a business on a higher octave energy, and it can become a way of solidifying some type of structure in our life where we can materialize and manifest also. So that's how this energy with Mars trying to Saturn can play out. And then we got Jupiter trying to Lilith. Jupiter trying to Lilith in Virgo, and Jupiter in Taurus. This gives us the gift. Now, this one is probably not really that positive either. We got this gift of feeling like we automatically going to experience vulnerability or embarrassment before we even do what we think we're doing. The things on our mind, though, is stuff we want to do, period. Usually it'll be a whole bunch of things we wouldn't care about doing anyway. Right now, it's forcing us to care about doing things we doing. So that's on your mind. But with Jupiter trying to Lilith, we're finding ways to think that we're wise inside of us, to think that, okay, this will lead to embarrassment, though. So it's a whole bunch of procrastinating energy right now that can be manifested. We have to be careful of that, due to the fact of prejudging what we think, based on the premise of prejudging what we think. Man, how the fuck does this break? So you got to be careful during this time, because when you try to jump into experiencing, learning about your stability, security, support, or learning new ways to make money, aka Jupiter and Taurus, you may have this innate energy to be like, nah, but let me worry about this, let me worry about that before I do it. Let me be patient on this before I do it. Let me work on this before I do it. Let me keep this consistent before I do it. Before the actual thing you need to do, before the actual fixated towards thing you need to do, you end up becoming too mutable in the earth element with the Virgo Lilith, because Lilith is in Virgo. So the Lilith negative energy is going to add too much mutable to the fixed earth. So they're both in the same thing. We're going to be thinking about our status, our material, our money. But before you actually get consistent in something, you might be stubborn in something that's mutable to the fixated thing you need to be in. And you may be worrying about all the other parts of the building inside to see if this need to be cleaned and this one, where the floor that got the rooms of your creative gifts on it, right, is fine. But you think the floor up top need to be cleaned, the basement floors need to, bathrooms need to be cleaned, and the secretary halls, the committee halls, then the first floor, the lobby, you think that everything need to be cleaned there, where people is going through a different stairs and going straight to the elevator to that floor where all your creative gifts at. So those things you worrying about is just wasting time. People coming right now going straight to the floor you on, and you trying to make people wait because the other floors you think need clean that people are not even going on or paying attention to, and you could probably put a sign on and say under construction, aka things you ain't dealing with, put in the back seat. That ain't got nothing to do with your creative gifts and passions. Put those in the back seat. Put those distractions in the back seat. Put the Yamaha war in the back seat. No, do something else. You know what I'm saying? Watch something else on TV. That's what I'm talking about. So at the same time, it's like that energy going on with Jupiter trying to Lilith. You could just be totally distracted, and before you even go for your goals, Yamaha Palestine made you feel like today you shouldn't go outside and you should pray on your knees all day for people who ain't even actually died. And that whole day could have went towards you making a new blockbuster hit movie or comic book or record or song or book like Jada Tupac Shakur Pekin right now or something like that. She the most lit thing online right now. Didn't I tell y'all? They all be watching me, especially her, because they type in their names and stuff. Anybody will do that, because I would do that if I don't do that now, but I'd do that if I was famous. But yeah, she took that and ran with it and stuff like that, and so she using this everything as a narrative right now. You know what I'm saying? So she lit right now. She done took the Tupac energy and became Tupac right now. She lit. I'm saying she all over that flunked out Virgo, all over the place. I'm saying all over the place, and then like, goddamn it, but you see what she doing? At least she doing the energy though. You know what I'm saying? She putting the energy work in deep. You know what I'm saying? Even though she using a dead man and stuff like that. Like that, if I was Will Smith, like on real stuff, I wouldn't even want to be with, like, around her. I will make it be known. I will have to do an interview or something like that. Cause listen, I'm Archangel Uriel. I refuse to be with a woman telling me a dead man had to get my acceptance to be with her. Like, she literally sat up there and said Tupac, and listen, Tupac was not paying attention to her like that, but she literally sat up there and said Tupac would get mad at her with any other guy except Will Smith. If I was Will Smith, and I gotta give it to him one time, YouTube. If I was Will Smith, I will be like, what the fuck Tupac opinion matters for? If I'm dropping this dick. You know what I'm saying? You got 3 kids with me, bitch. Tupac wasn't in that bedroom. My dick was in your mouth. You see what I'm saying? Like, I would have been saying all kind of stuff. I would have had to do an interview. Especially if I'm a comedian. Will Smith is a comedian. If you can't make us laugh and turn that into something, I don't even care about no future movie you making. I'm cool on it. You let her destroy you. You let that sucker about destroy you. You let Miss Acrylic spray can, top can, bottle top hat head destroy your career. Period. Miss Crystal Marble floor head. Mrs. Clean bottle of Pine-Sol head. Miss Golden Lourdes of Meteor Man, Golden Lourdes head. I said Goddess Lord head. I said real stuff. Golden Goddess Lourdes head. Real stuff. Yeah, you sat there and let her do it, and you agreed with it by sitting on her Facebook marble floor head Facebook Live. That's your fault. That's your fault. It's your fault I'm no longer a fan. It ain't her fault. She did her job. That's what some females down here to do. You need to know that. Some females are down here just to do that. And you might have some karma you did. You know what I'm saying? You might have did some previous woman wrong. You might have did something wrong in a previous lifetime that you need to get a reading from me. You know what I'm saying? It could be anonymous. Go ahead and you need Will Smith. You need to get a reading from me. Stop going to Sad Guru. You know what I'm saying? You need to come get a reading from me and stuff like that. You won't be doing wrong no more. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. You won't be doing wrong no more. And yeah, let me get up out of here right now. And on that note, let me get back to work. I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Real stuff. I'm dropping the mixtape in like 2 days, stuff like that. I'm doing a whole world takeover. Whole world takeover. I'm going to further than that.